Morning all. It's that time again. Welcome to another hobby vlog. And I desperately need to paint something that isn't a Necron. If I have to look at the pot of Tesseract Glow one more time, I think I might be sick. Slight exaggeration perhaps, but I desperately need something else to paint, and that something else is going to be this. I finally found a head I quite like for Lachesis, my word-bearer sorcerer, for his new model, because it's high time I replace that gnarly old 2nd edition one with the axe and the crazy helmet. So here he is. The extremely eagle-eyed among you may recognise that head as being Garviel Lokens from the Forge World Horus Heresy character series. I had a spare Garviel Loken head in my bits box from when I got the dual set between him and Abaddon, because I wanted to use Abaddon for something. And yeah, I'm going to use... sorry, I need to clear my throat today for some reason. I'm going to use Garviel's head on Lachesis. Hopefully it should look pretty good. He won't look like Garviel by the time I'm done with the paint job, of course, but yeah. I couldn't find one with a maniacal grin on his face that didn't look a bit too sort of Richter's grin, unfortunately, so I've settled for this in the end. And it looks about right. You know, he doesn't have a face that's too disfigured or weird, because the whole thing with Lachesis is he maintains an appearance of being quite handsome, you know, through sorcerer's means, through a sort of glamour, basically. So while the other Chaos Marines are covered in scars and you know, have bits of their face missing from previous battles, he is immaculate in his appearance because he's just that kind of guy. So yeah, gotta go spray this guy with some lead belcher in a bit, and then get him painted. Be nice to paint a word bearer again. I haven't done that in frickin' ages. Yeah, good stuff. I had a big order from Element arrive today, a day ahead of schedule as well. Well done, UPS, I suppose. But yes, we've just gone into our third? Is it third now? Yeah, third national lockdown in the UK, well, in England specifically. And yeah, I took the opportunity to quickly grab a bunch of stuff from Element games, and that arrived quite quickly indeed, actually. So some new Space Marine goodies, paints, glue, some super glue activator, which is really important because I pretty much need that stuff to be able to use super glue at all on account of me being allergic. Among with a few other bits, some demons. I got some demons, some Tzeentch demons and some Nurgle demons, because I need the Nurgle demons for something specific. And the Tzeentch demons I need because I don't have any Tzeentch demons for the word bearers yet. So, yep. Some pig horrors and screamers and a flaming chariot of Tzeentch or something. Tzeentch demons are freaking weird, man. I don't know what to make of them. But anyway. It was a start collecting box, so, you know. But yes, anyway. Lachesis, the sorcerer. He will finally get his true scale model to go alongside Korvarik and Tal Ezra. That will be the triumvirate complete. The triumvirate of evil gits. Excellent, can't wait. Right, better crack on with this guy. Right, there he is, he's done. I hope I didn't accidentally delete the previous clip from this hobby vlog, because I might have done while I was doing the battle report stuff. If that happened, this video is going to start off in a very strange way. But there's Lachesis, he's done. Previously, I should have showed you a clip of him grey unpainted plastic. He's been painted now, and you will have already seen him in a battle report that I put up. I made a solo Warhammer battle report, a solo hammer, if you like, battle report. So far, the response to it seems to be very positive, so I'm considering making some more. I also paid this. This is a really knackered old Sky Shield landing pad that I got on eBay for virtually no money at all, because it was in a really, really terrible state and had a freaking horrendous paint job, which I have today replaced with a slightly less horrendous paint job. I think it's okay. It's basically just bare metal with some brassy bits and some glowy lights. It's a landing pad for aircraft, so I thought lots of red blinking lights would make sense for it, and then I did some blue ones on the bottom there just for variety's sake. Took me like most of the afternoon to do this. I'm more or less happy with it though. I think on the table in context with all the other miniatures and scenery it'll probably look just fine. Obviously these bits come down if necessary, turning it into a bit of an exposed position as opposed to one with cover. Although this bit here, this is stuck, this won't go up any further without breaking. And one of the railing bits is missing completely from here. Like I said, it was in a bit of a state when I bought it on eBay. But the flip side was it was very, very, very cheap. Because normally, like a brand new Sky Shield landing pad, if they even sell these still anymore, is very expensive. So, anyway, I think it's turned out okay. I dirtied and grimed it up a bit as well to make it look like it's seen regular use. Overall, I'm fairly pleased with it, I think. I could have, if I was a bit less lazy, I could have made it a lot more colourful. I could have painted these panels red and the eagle white and stuff and what have you, but I was, I'm not much of a terrain guy, to be honest. I don't do lots of terrain building and painting. I don't have the time for it, and also I find it a bit dull most of the time. But today, for whatever reason, I was just struck by an urge to do a little bit of terrain. Maybe it's because I did the battle report recently, and when I was setting the table up, I did find myself getting a little bit bored of... Oh, phone's going off. I did find myself getting a little bit bored of the other... Someone's messaging me in Discord and it's popping up on the top of the screen. Damn it, go away. I'll deal with you later. I was getting a bit bored of the terrain I do have. I mean, I've got quite a lot of terrain, but yeah, I was getting maybe a little bit bored of the same old stuff. So I did this. I've also got a Fortress of Redemption still in a box that I'm thinking I might build, assemble and paint now as well, probably with a very similar painting method to this thing, basically. Spray it all black, give it a zenithal of lead belcher, dry brush, apply grime, dry brush again, add brassy bits, dry brush again, do lights and things. Should be able to get that done in a day at least, I reckon. I mean, a Fortress Redemption is a big old bunker thing. It's quite large, but not that much smaller than this. So, yeah, we'll see. It'd be a good thing to put in a bat wrap, though. Especially if it's like a siege defense bat wrap or something with a big Fortress of Redemption on it. And it's a good sort of centre of table line of sight blocking terrain piece kind of as well. So, yeah, that might be next on the agenda, I think. It does vaguely match these barricade things that I made like a year ago as well. So it doesn't look too out of place next to them. Now, hopefully shouldn't look too out of place next to like the Urban Mats Mechanicus building things like those. So yeah, that was kind of the plan there. Really, is trying to get it done quick and also make it so it sort of blends in with some of my other terrain pieces. So there you go. Anyway, speaking of Urban Mats, actually, crater. I got a set of craters. Now, you've seen these before in my battle reports. They're grey by default. I've also got a desert set as well. And they come pre-painted. You can see my hands are still grubby from all the painting. But they come pre-painted, these. However, I'm going to actually repaint over them because I reckon I can do not a better job, but I can make them blend in a bit more. Because the grey craters, they come as by default, are great. They're fine. They're perfectly fine. Problem is, on my particular battle mats that I have, they stick out like a bit of a sore thumb. So I was thinking I might be able to repaint these things so they blend in a bit more, hopefully. And to illustrate what I mean, I have my crushed Aquila over here. And you'll notice how this blends in very, very nicely on this battle mat. You don't need like to throw loads of gravel around to make it blend in. It just looks like it belongs there, you know. And it fits on a lot of my battle mats too, this thing. If I flip this over to this cobblestone one, plop. Yep, looks pretty good there. If I flip it over to this industrial one, you know, it sticks out a little bit more, but not too much. It still looks good there. No, obviously it's not going to work on a metal one, is it? Urban one, probably not the desert ones. The grassy one blends in a bit less, but you know, it's not too bad actually. Just looks like topsoil really. And there's this one, again, blends in lovely. And then my original Wasteland battle mat as well, which, again, perfect really, especially if you put it on one of the darker sections. So, I believe, I'm trying to remember, because I did this thing ages ago, and I'm actually sitting here peering at it under the studio lights, trying to figure out what the hell I did with this thing. But I think, looking at it, is I sprayed it black. Well, it's unpainted underneath, but I think I sprayed it black. And then I painted all of the soil bits brown. I'm not sure exactly which brown, but I think it was probably like a wet brush, like a dry brush, a bit more intense though. And then after that, I think I dry brushed the whole thing with Dawnstone. And then after that, I think I probably used something like Xandri dust or a Shabti bone or something as the last stage. I probably did something like that. I probably based it off of one of Winter's old terrain tutorials, actually, now that I think about it. So maybe I should go re-watch those. But anyway, yeah, so this entire set of craters, I've primed them black now, and that's the plan. Make them look like that, so they blend in on my battle mats really, really nicely. And yeah, also build the Fortress of Redemption. At least build it. Hopefully paint it as well, but at least to build it. That's the plan anyway. And then it'll be back to Necrons for a bit, I think. Oh, there is one thing I can show you though. I've got a little special treat for myself. Oh, two things actually. I've got a little special treat for myself for something I can do when my Necrons are done. It's like a reward for when I finally power through all the Necrons. I'll show you that in a second, but also I got these things up here. There's a lot of terrain up here. See if I can get this down without killing myself. Get one of these. Right, here we go. I got these off eBay. I buy a lot of terrain on eBay, particularly pre-painted stuff, because, like I said, I don't have an awful lot of time to be farting around making terrain when I'm painting 500 million armies and trying to make videos at the same time. But these are some sort of big spiky rock things, as what obviously you can see. Unless you're blind and you're watching my videos, in which case, thanks for watching, I guess, although I'm not really sure why. But yeah, big spiky rock things. And I think I got these for a couple of reasons. One, because I like to do games in like demon worlds with really bizarre terrain. Like I've got some aquarium bits down under the table over there, which have like these skull mountain things going on, but these look like they would fit really well as well. And just to have a battle on a slightly more alien looking planet would be nice. But also, I think I've got a very specific use for these that I can think of for a campaign as well. And for a campaign, I mean the Reuvengrad campaign. But saying any more than that would be spoilers, I think. But yeah, so I got like 3 big jobbies like this. I mean, like for scale, have a Lachesis for scale. Like they're quite large, really. They're not too small, you know. I find the annoying thing about buying a lot of pre-painted terrain is it's always quite small, but these are good. So I can't remember where I got these. I think it was Terrain Rocks UK, possibly. Might have been Terrain Rocks UK on eBay, I think, if you want to look them up. They're not bad. Lots of bits of junk on there and stuff as well. Made of polystyrene, so I need to probably be quite careful with these. But, you know, for a slightly alien and maybe slightly chaos-infested planet, they would look real good. And something a bit different. So There you go. And again, they blend in quite nicely with the battle mats as well, which is always good. What I really need is a lava battle mat. I need like an ash wastes with lava style battle mat. That's what I need. I know they exist. I just need to get one because I'd like to do a sort of Mustafar style battle on a planet like that, if you like. A few Star Wars fans out there. Something like that would be good, because I can cover most everything else. I've got sort of generic, slightly grassy wasteland. I've got cobblestone roads for making a sort of village or town. I've got industrial waste. I've got metal for indoors. I've got city streets. I've got 2 varieties of desert. I've got woodland / forest / jungle. That's another thing, actually. I need to get some proper jungle terrain so I can do jungle battles, because that's a staple of 40k jungle battles. Got this general hilly wasteland, and then I got this sort of very, very parched wasteland. Almost a desert, but not quite, sort of thing. So yeah, the one kind of theme I'm missing really is, well, 2 actually. Snow is another one. Snow is one I'm missing. I can't do any snowy battles at the moment. But that's a tricky one, because I find snowy battlefields look a bit odd if you don't have snow-themed terrain on them. For some reason it bothers me, like if you've got buildings and stuff on a snow battle map, but the buildings themselves aren't also covered in snow. It doesn't look right to me. So that's why I've not really bothered with a snow battlefield yet, but I'd like a lava one, like I said. Anyway, I'm babbling now. It's taking me too long to say very simple things, and that is a tree. Oh, that is the tree from the battle report that kept falling off. There you go. That's my box of trees. I got these from a model railway shop, I think. Blue tack for sticking them down with. Many varieties of trees. This is the box that has all the random little bits of scatter terrain and stuff in. Crates, boxes, rocks, barricades, / trench bits. All that kind of thing. Yeah. I think I've got in here as well somewhere. A bag of lichen as well. Ah, yeah, this stuff. This stuff which people accused of being weed. In the previous hobby vlog, which made me laugh. Yeah, it's not weed. If your weed looks like lichen, you need to find someone else to buy your weed from, frankly. I wouldn't advise smoking that. I'm trying to find, there's another bag of it in here, and I'm trying to find the bag because I'm pretty sure it has a label on it telling me where I got it from. Here we go. So if you too want to be mistaken for a weed smoker, you can buy your dark green lichen / lichen, however you pronounce that, from warworldscenics.com. That's where I got it from. But you can scatter this stuff about in clumps, and it looks like, at a glance, like from a couple of feet away, it looks like fairly convincing bushes. I actually got a few bags of this because at one point I was very, very into Bolt Action, which is a World War II tabletop war game. And I wanted loads of this so I could make hedgerows with it. In fact, that's also why I think I got the cobblestone battle map, because I was going to have that, and I was going to line some of these roads with hedgerows made out of lichen. So yeah, I haven't played Bolt Action in ages though. I don't really know why, to tell you the truth. It's a really good game, but yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll update you when I do something else. There we go. Honestly, they still don't blend in perfectly, but they're better than they were. They were sort of like bright grey moon dust coloured craters before, and now they're a bit more earthy. I think it works. If you're curious as to what the sort of recipe was, it's basically, spray prime and black. Then give them a really, really sort of thick dry brush of Gawthorpe Brown, I think it was, all over. And then a slightly lighter dry brush of Dawnstone all over him. And then last, a few light dry brushed bits of I think it was Vallejo English uniform I used, but that was only because I couldn't find any Zamesi Desert, which is the Games Workshop paint I would have used. But English uniform from Vallejo was close enough. And yeah, there we go. More or less blends in about as much as I could hope it to, really, for a 3D piece of terrain on a flat plane, you know. I think it looks alright. Much better than it did before anyway. Nothing wrong with the original paint job from Urban Mats, just this colour works better for me on most of my actual battlefields that I use. So there we go. Anything, see, this means I won't have to pile up gravel all around it to make it blend in more. And I will do absolutely anything to avoid using gravel. I know it's the trendy thing at the moment to use in battle reports on YouTube is to just throw gravel absolutely everywhere until like 50% of the table is gravel, aquarium pebbles and stuff. Let me see how it looks on these. That's not bad. But I hate this stuff because it just gets everywhere. It's rough, it's coarse, and I hate it, and it gets everywhere. See, look, it's all over the floor. Yeah, that's fine. Looks a bit out of place on a desert one, but I have separate desert craters for deserts, so it's actually not such a big deal, to be honest. Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, like that. Yeah, again, it just looks like whoosh, topsoil's been thrown up after a shell landed. And again, that looks fairly good too. So yeah, I don't like to use the. Oh yeah, that looks spot on. I don't like to use the gravel if I can help it. I just find it very irritating. It gets everywhere. It causes you to throw constant cocked dice as well because the dice get stuck on the gravel. It's more tidying up to do. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. But that looks alright. Yep. I'm happy with that. That was about an hour's work tops, I think. 40 minutes probably. So there we go. Lovely jubbly. Right. That's done. Fortress of Redemption next, possibly, or alternatively, slightly different angle. Chaos Moon Rover. Alternatively, I do have all the Necron stuff still, the 3D printed Necron stuff and the MDF Necron stuff. Yeah. I don't want to do any more Necron stuff for now, though. I need a break. I got these from Urban Mats a while ago. This sort of ruined building stuff. This is quite good. I really like it as terrain. It's very good. Good size. You can fit plenty of models on here and in here. It has no real windows, so it doesn't cause any line of sight complications. I do like these. Again, though, I'm not so hot on the paint job. They've kind of gone for a metallic look, even though it clearly seems to be sort of like bricks with plaster over them. And if you look at the actual sculpt, which is interesting, they seem to have gone for a sort of metallic thing here because it's probably quicker. But I am considering, because I have a whole set of these. There you go. This one actually does have windows, but I'm considering repainting these to make them look like actual plaster and brick with concrete floors instead of sort of weird metallic. Though there are obviously metallic bits on them, the gold stuff that'll probably end up being painted silver. It'd take me a little while to get through the whole set though. Talking like a couple of days at least, I reckon. But it might be worth doing. Because honestly, they look pretty good when they're done up like that, I reckon. Stick a few posters on them and stuff as well. Print out posters. In fact, although I could not put posters up, and speaking of bolt action earlier, I mean, I don't have any immediate plans to get back into bolt action, but if I did, if you imagine these were painted up in the way I'm intending to paint them up, they wouldn't look too bad as like Stalingrad terrain, Soviet apartment block for World War II games. Because my bolt action armies are Germans and Russians. So... yeah, maybe. I'll have a think about it. Anyway, creators are done. And I think they work much better now. Hooray! Because creators are important in 9th edition as well, because they have the whole movement reducing thing as well as applying cover and stuff, and like barricades, they suddenly serve a more interesting purpose due to the movement reduction. They did do a bit of that in 8th edition because they reduced charges through them by 2 inches, but now they reduce movement as well as charges by 2 inches. So yeah, creators are good. And you can stick them inside a blown up building as well, which is kind of fun. I like doing that. Like, for example, if we were to set these up like that, we could take one of these and stick that in there like that, and it looks like an artillery shell has landed in the middle of this, and that's why the building is blown up, As opposed to just a sort of generic crumbling ruin, there's a slight bit of a story here. A couple of artillery shells landed right in the middle of this building, and that's what tore it to pieces. So, in this instance, you probably would want to scatter some slate or gravel around to make it look a bit more legit, with lots of rubble and stuff, but you get the idea. So, yes. I may want to varnish them, though. Same with this, actually. I'm tempted to bust out the Minotaur and varnish and spray him to death with that. We'll see. I mean, I'd rather not because I'm lazy, but maybe I should. That thing is, they will look a little, even with a matte varnish, they will look slightly shiny when I do that. And I don't know how much I like that, particularly under the big studio lights, which they will be most of the time. Because anything shiny under the studio lights is very, very shiny on camera. I mean, there's the roof of that building in the previous Bat-Rat, but even that looks really shiny. It doesn't look that shiny in real life, but it does on the camera. So, anyway. Craters. Done. Mission accomplished. Wish I could remember where I put the desert craters. Maybe they're still in the packaging. I'll have to have a look later. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue today in this next clip, I guess, assuming this isn't the start of a new video, the theme of not painting Necrons, painting anything that's not a bloody Necron. Enough Necrons! Actually, that's not true. I did paint some Lich Guard. Sword and Board Lich Guard are painted and done now. Not based yet, like the others, but they're done. I did those. But aside from that, need a break from the metal skeletons. Desperately need a break from the metal skeletons. And I decided, right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get the rest of my Space Marines repainted. And now all of them are, with the exception of one Predator tank. So that's good. Yeah, here they are. A huge gaggle of tactical Marines. Yep. My squad of Vanguard veterans. I do like these guys. They have a lot of individuality to them because you can give them a very, very varied loadout. There's even a Primaris guy in there as well because why not, right? I mean, once upon a time I probably wouldn't have done that, but nowadays, with the Mini Marines and the Primaris guys both having 2 wins each, I can see them mixing in veteran squads now, without it feeling too weird narratively. Like, why does this Primaris guy only have 1 wound magically? Well, not a problem anymore. So there's a Primaris guy with a skull helmet there, in amongst the other veterans, which I quite like. Yes. Oh, the rest of my Hellblasters are the back there. That's most of them, but not all of them. Land Raider is sorted, as much as I care to sort it. A storm pigeon as well is sorted. It's actually called a storm raven, by the way, for those not in the know. But I always call it the storm pigeon because it's big and it's grey and it's fat, and barely looks like it should be able to fly at all. But there you go. So that's the storm pigeon sorted, along with its flying base. Looking pretty good. So now I'll be moving on to painting up from scratch more stuff for the Space Marines. I'm bumping the Space Marines a little bit up the priority list at the moment, actually, versus the Necrons, because if I'm going to continue doing solo battle reports, these guys will probably feature in the next one that I do. And I also have an idea for a campaign. That's what these guys are for. You see these Terminators with the big scythes? They are some special dudes for a campaign idea that I have. So I'm not going to tell you anything more about these guys for now. You'll have to wait and see for that. So these guys, these guys are getting bumped up the priority list a little bit. So other stuff I have to do for these guys, I have my suppressors, the bouncy dudes with the autocannons to do. I have a rhino to paint, a razorback to paint, some scouts, a landspeeder storm, which is the scout landspeeder, the new gladiator tank, the new floaty tank for the Primaris, which is sort of a replacement for the Predator. I have that to do as well. A Devastator squad, because I noticed that I didn't have a Devastator squad in my Marine chapter. Not even one. And I thought, well, that's jolly embarrassing. I should probably fix that. So I've got a Devastator squad to build. I mean, I could assemble one, out of spare heavy weapons guys, like those missile launchers back there, but I'd like a proper one, personally. I would like a proper one. So that's a thing. Is there any other stuff? All the Indomitus stuff, obviously. I've not even built that yet. All the Indomitus guys. So the Assault Intercessors, the new characters. Am I even going to bother with the Captain? I might not. If I do, he'll be heavily converted. Because absolutely everyone has that one bloody Captain sculpt with the skeleton shield. And I'm sick of seeing it all over Instagram and stuff at this point. So if I have that Captain with that loadout, it's going to look quite different, I've decided. There's the Chaplain as well. And that Chaplain sculpt in Indomitus is so good. He's so good. But I already have like 3 Chaplains. I don't think I need another necessarily. 3 Chaplains? Possibly 4 Chaplains. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have a lot of Chaplains. I don't think I need another one, even though he looks really cool. There's the bikes as well, isn't there? There's the bikes, the Outriders, and there's also the... what are they called? Melter dudes. Eradicators? Is that it? I think so. Yeah, Eradicators. I think those are the ones. Big grabbers guys with the big melter guns. Yeah, need those as well. So, yes. Other stuff to do for these guys. Other stuff to do. I'm looking forward to those. It's nice painting Space Marines again after a long break from them, and after having recently painted a lot of metallic armies. I'm painting something that's not metallic now. I mean, it's grey, so it's not... We're not doing anything too crazy here. We're not going mad. But it is grey with some metallic bits and some yellow bits. And occasional purpley bits as well. So that's nice. I'm enjoying that for sure. Did I ever get around to doing an army showcase for my Space Marines? I don't think I did I? Might be something to do. These are the Revenants, the Marines Revenant, to use their official title, but Revenants for short. They are successors of the Imperial Fists, sons of Rogaldorn, and they live out on the frontier, the wild frontier of the Gulf of Athena. They're based on the world of Hades. They were one of 3 chapters, known as the Cerberus Warders, whose job it was to guard the warp storm known as the Maw. And the Maw is not actually technically made up. It does appear on some official Games Workshop maps out in the Ultima Segmentum, the Maw. I took the name for it and basically made up everything else. But these guys were supposed to guard the Maw, the Cerberus Warders. There was these guys, the Revenants. There was also the Storm Riders, who are my old 3rd edition Space Marine army, and there was also the Silver Saints, which is my Blood Angels successor kill team that I've made, that may one day become a full army, I don't know. And the 3 of them, their job was to basically guard the entrance to the moor from the chaos beasties that dwelt within, and after 10,000 years they got a bit complacent, and on a couple of occasions the chaos burst out of it and started wrecking stuff, and each time they did it, they did quite a number on the surrounding systems, and then the Cicadrix Maledictum happened, the Great Rift opened, and it all went completely to pot. One of the chapters, the Storm Riders, was completely destroyed, for example. That's why I don't have them anymore. I think they went to the tip many, many years ago, my poor Storm Riders. So they were canonically destroyed by the forces of chaos. That's what happened to them. And, we got the Revenants. And maybe someday the Silver Saints. But hey. They're based on the world of Hades. A desert world, much like this battle mat you can see here. Maybe that's a hint. And that's the way I've painted their bases as well, so they're on the desert of their home world. It's a largely desert world, I should say. There are other polar regions where it's a bit more temperate, but it's largely radioactive desert, where a few hardy tribal folks live. They migrate around on the backs of these big, ancient sort of excavation machines with like big spider legs, and they have small towns that live on the back of them, and they wander around the desert. And then there's other people who live in other settlements more towards the northern and southern poles. There's people who live in the mountains near the poles themselves. There's some tribesmen who live there. Marines who have been recruited from said tribes, you can see them in here because they are the ones that have things like wolf and bear pelts on their shoulders, like that Hellblaster at the back there. And then there's the guys who live in the Underkingdoms. A lot of humanity that used to live on this world in many, many millennia long past, when whatever catastrophe it was visited this world, a lot of them fled underground into bunker complexes and things, and those bunker complexes are joined onto caves, and eventually a whole underground sort of society emerged, and they are known as the Underkingdoms of Kiog. I think that's how I decided to pronounce it. I kind of for a lot of the made up names, I kind of just sort of close my eyes, run my fingers randomly over the keyboard, and then refine the garbage that comes out into some sort of vague word. That's how I make up stuff, and that's how I make up some particularly weird sounding stuff. Because Hades, the planet these guys come from, is very weird. It's very, very weird. It's out on the arse end of the frontier of the Imperium, and it's very strange out here. Very strange people live on these planets with very strange customs, and the Space Marines who recruit from them end up becoming a bit strange themselves, like these guys. It's the general idea. Your ordinary, boring Codex Astartes adhering Ultramarines, these are not. These guys are a bit strange, to say the least. I have a whole... I was working on a whole series on my narrative blog about their homeworld of Hades and the chapter itself, and then COVID and depression came along and kind of put a stop to that. But I'm thinking of getting back to it at some point and continuing it. I only did like the first part of it, I think. Yeah, I think I only did part 1 in the end. I wrote a lot of part 2, but I didn't do part 1. I mean, I only published part 1. That's what that is to say. Use your words, Dave. Use your words. But yes, I like these guys a lot. I've done a lot of work on their background and that, some of which has been retconned over the years, but that's okay because GW does retcons quite a lot lately. So if they can do it, I'm allowed to as well. But yeah, these guys, I like them, and they're going to be in another solo battle report since the overwhelming response seems to have been, this was really good, please do more of these. So I will. And I think the next one is going to be this lot, probably fighting the orcs. And on that note, I painted this. I finally got around to painting this old metal Big Mech. Painted up and based. He is the big mech with the custom force field, that's the one. Who I can't remember if he's Legends or not at the moment. Because I would have thought he'd be in Legends, but I think I remember him mysteriously reappearing back in the main codex when the Legends stuff was done. He didn't make it into the Orc Codex, but he's also not in Legends. Now, it's something weird, I have to double check, but either way, I will still use it, damn it. So yeah, I got him sorted out in preparation. It's some Space Marine versus Orc action probably coming quite soon. Probably on a desert battlefield, since, that's the one I've got set up right now. So spoilers, but yeah, desert battle. Yeah. So, also got some other stuff on the way. Got some really nice looking nice looking. I got some ruined buildings coming, some MDF laser cut ruined buildings on the way. And a friend of mine on a Discord server that I'm part of had some of these, and I've seen it set up on its table. And I was really impressed with it because they're nothing to write home about in terms of the actual kits. Like, they're not super detailed or anything like that. But what they are is very tall. They're quite tall ruined buildings with multiple floors, and I was really impressed when I saw a table set up with this stuff. How vertical the battlefield then became as a result. You could do like some serious sort of city fight scenarios with lots of verticality going on, with units having advantages for having higher ground and stuff, and shooting at people down below them and that kind of thing. So I got some, and it's absurdly cheap actually for like a full table's worth of the stuff. It was quite cheap because laser cut MDF tends to be quite cheap, thankfully. So that's on its way. So I'll be building and painting some ruined buildings. And additionally, I have a new army coming from eBay because I don't do this for a living, and therefore I don't earn enough money from my 40k stuff to be able to afford like fancy commission painted studio stuff. So when I want to get a new army done get a new army and get it quickly, I tend to just sort of scour eBay for people selling second-hand armies at a decent price, and I found one that seems to have been a bit of a bargain, and I've snapped it up, and it's the Black Legion. Now, you will remember if you've watched the previous hobby vlogs, I've been working on some Black Legion. Now, basically, I recently realised when I was sitting here, after reading all the nice comments on the solo battle report asking me to do more, I had to sit down and a serious think about how I would go about doing it. And one of the conclusions I came to was, one problem I have is that I have a disproportionately large number of Imperium armies. And that's mostly because my regular opponents tend not to have very many Imperium armies. Like Alf and the Claw and Dan and everybody and Bob, they all have non-Imperium stuff. They always tend to bring aliens and chaos to play me, so I have a large number of Imperium armies as a result of that. Now I've got a fair few non-Imperium armies, but potentially they're not quite large enough yet to really work for making regular battle reports with solo-wise, and maybe even doing campaigns with. So I've essentially accelerated the Black Legion project by buying a decent-sized second-hand Black Legion army. And it looks really very nicely painted. I'm very, very pleased with the way it looks. It'll be on its way to me soon. I could do a bit of an unboxing segment, couldn't I, of it when it arrives? That'd be a thing. But basically, that will arrive. I will rejig the bases and stuff so that it matches up with my existing Black Legion, and probably tweak the paint scheme on my existing Black Legion so everything looks like it's properly part of the same army and not just two separate bits that have been bodged together. But so there will be a little bit of work involved, but nowhere near as much as if I was going to paint the whole lot from scratch. So the Black Legion are going to get a very sudden and dramatic expansion very soon, which is good because that will give me another Chaos army in the bag. I'll have my Word Bearers. I've got the little bit of Iron Warriors, but they're not enough really to count as a proper army, if you ask me. But I'll have the Word Bearers, and I will have Black Legion. A noticeable amount of Black Legion. There'll be still more stuff I want to add to it, but it'll be enough I can play a few games with. So that's the thing. I don't know when exactly that's going to get here because it's an eBay purchase and the Royal Mail at the moment is in a bit of a state. So, but when it does, I will show you, of course. But it looks really nice. It is older models. It's not the new Chaos Marine kits. By and large, it's all old school models, including some very awesome looking converted old school Possessed, which I'm keen on showing you when they arrive because they look really fun and weird. But yeah, I don't mind because nostalgia, basically. I love me some old Hammer, so I don't have an issue with it. So I mean, you can see this army here. I've got Primaris and I've got old tactical Marines and stuff in it side by side. It doesn't bother me at all. Some people it does bother them, but it doesn't bother me, so that's all that matters, really. Right. Trying to think, is there anything else? Is there anything else to mention? I don't think so for the moment. Yeah, I will return soon. This might be the end of the video. If it is, bye-bye. If it's not, see you in a minute. Either way, thanks for watching, I guess. Alright, not quite the end of the video, I suspect. Morning all. It's the following day. And, actually, no. I think it's the day after the following day. Oh, lockdown. You can never remember what day of the bloody week it is, can you? Ugh, it all blurs together anyway. I did some Bouncy Boyos. Here they are. Some Bouncy dudes whose real proper name, I believe, is Suppressors or something. Yeah, these are the guys from Shadowspear from ages ago. I've had these guys built and primed for like at least a year, just sat on the shelf doing nothing. I finally got around to them because I'm in a Space Marine mood now. So I painted these guys and I'm quite happy with them. It's been... You know what? Actually, I had a lot of fun painting these guys. I really enjoyed it. I haven't painted a Space Marine in ages, and sometimes it's fun to do. It's like going back to basics. Everyone starts with a Space Marine, so well, almost everyone. So it's nice to go back and do it and apply some of the newer techniques I learned, and they've come out really nicely. I think, honestly. Obviously, as you can see, they're slightly converted / kit bashed. The original Bouncy dudes. They come on those big, tall flying stands, and they look a bit silly. And I wasn't having any of that. So I didn't go as far as some people have done, where like they've replaced the legs and the backpack and stuff. Basically, I just dug out some rocks from the rock collection, and repositioned these guys so that they're standing on rocks. Standing on rocks, sort of moving about as if they've just landed, with their sort of thruster packs at the back there, you know. And I think they don't look too bad, honestly. I think they look alright. As you can see, I kit bashed a couple of different heads on them. Put a bear head on this guy, because in my... they don't have sergeants, these squads, but in my mind he's probably the sergeant, because he doesn't have a helmet. That's the way it works. 40k logic. And then I did this guy, and I gave him a Mark 7 helmet. And I have to admit, actually, he looks really cool with a Mark 7 helmet. Looks really awesome, in my opinion. I will always love the Mark 7 helmet. If I shut my eyes and someone says the word Space Marine to me, it's that helmet I see. That's just Marines to me. That's a side effect of when I joined the hobby, I suppose, originally. But, yeah, that is just Space Marines to me. The old Darth Vader Mark 7 helmet. Speaking of Darth Vader... There he is. Got the Darth Vader mug out today. Although I've chipped it in the corner already. I'm a clumsy oaf. Anyway. Yeah, I'll always love that particular helmet design from the Marines. It's bloody iconic, if you ask me. I left the third guy with the originally intended, like the helmet they come with, which looks okay. But I still prefer that one. Anyway. If I had enough of them spare, probably all my Primaris guys would have these helmets. But anyway, yeah, the other modification I made to them actually was I made the barrels of their guns a bit shorter. These, excuse me, I got up not long ago, my throat's a bit bleh, still. But these autocannons they've got, they are absurdly long, as you can see. They're about as long as they are tall, these guys. and they're even longer by default. They're ridiculously long, and they don't, it's not as noticeable when they're up on their flying stands like they're intended to be, but when you put them on the ground, it looks absolutely ridiculous. So I had to chop around about there-ish, and then shorten the barrel to about there. It still preserves the original look of the weapon, but it looks ever so slightly less ridiculous now, at least. Unfortunately, I found this with a lot of Primaris stuff, at least the earlier Primaris stuff. The new Indomitus stuff is just, really good. But all the older Primaris stuff, I found myself having to chop bits off and make little adjustments here and there until they sort of were to my satisfaction. They kind of missed the mark slightly with a lot of it, if you ask me. But they're getting their act together nowadays. The Indomitus Marines, as I said, are lovely. But yes, these are an example of me having to chop bits off and alter them a little bit until they were sort of to a point where I was happy with them. And I am really, really happy with them now, actually. I think they look rather cool. Probably use them in that battle report I'm thinking of making, actually. It wouldn't be out of place in that particular scenario I have in mind. So there you go. Lovely jubbly. I'm going to paint some more Marines now, I think. Let me think, what else do I need to do? I've got an Ironclad Dreadnought. I think I've already mentioned most of these. I forgot to mention that I have an Ironclad Dreadnought that's still to do. He's been built and painted on my desk even longer than these guys have. So he really needs to be done. Because Ironclad Dreadnoughts are cool, actually. I think they're toughness 8 Dreadnoughts, which is pretty beefy. If I recall. Well, actually, I don't know. I should check the new codex, shouldn't I? They might have changed it, but they were toughness 8 Dreadnoughts, which was fun. So that's the thing. Yeah. What else? Oh, I've got some spare tactical Marines. I've never seemed to have quite enough tactical Marines in this army. I think I originally made 20, but I split them into 4 squads, so I did a sergeant for each one, which limits your options a bit. So I think I've got another 10 or so tactical Marines that I need to paint, and I might just do that, honestly, because I wouldn't mind switching my brain off and painting some Space Marines, really, because I enjoyed these 3. I could do some more. Yeah, why the hell not? Alright, anyway. Bonus round, almost forgot. So I think I've shown you these on like Twitter posts and on the community page on the channel before, but most people probably haven't seen them. Some of you may recall the Neverwinter Nights Let's Play I did with Vera Blake, the Sorceress, and her Panther familiar, Colin. Well, some time ago now, I went to a website called Hero Forge. It was the day I got paid, and I thought I'd treat myself. And I went onto a website called Hero Forge where you can basically build fantasy heroes. But the idea is to use them for D&D. But you have a character creation kind of tool on there, which is, like something you'd get in a video game almost, actually. And I basically made Vera from the Neverwinter Nights Let's Play as a D&D miniature and painted her. And there you go. I'm quite proud of it, really. I've really enjoyed that Let's Play. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. It's one of the series on the channel I'm proudest of, actually. And I thought I'd commemorate it when it was done with a miniature. And I've got Colin as well. This is actually Drizzt's Panther, which there was an official model for. I don't know if it says on the bottom. Let's see. Gwen Huayvar, that's his name, yeah. Copyright 2005. Wizards of the Coast, made in China. But anyway, yeah, because you couldn't make a Panther with Hero Forge, so I managed to track down Drizzt's Panther on eBay, and I got him and I repainted him a bit, and yeah, there you go, Vera and Colin, everybody. Yeah. So there you go. That's a little itty bitty tiny bonus round today, but thought I'd show you those guys. Some of you might get a kick out of it. You ain't seen the last of those two, actually, I should mention. You ain't seen the last of them, and it's been a while since that Neverwinter Nights Let's Play, but I have plans for these two. Oh, yes, I do. Anyway, I won't say any more about that for now. Okay, this I think is going to be the end of the. Wait, no. I remember there was some questions. There were some questions people asked on one of the previous hobby vlogs, and I need to answer them. Hold on, I need to check that where. I checked. I checked the thing. I checked the thing. The comment section. That's the word. That's what it's called. A couple of people were asking about my salamanders that I brought onto Winter's SEO that one time. I'm afraid I sold them a long time ago, actually. I don't have those guys anymore. I sold them in order to pay for this chapter, really. The salamanders were fun. I'll always have a soft spot for them. But I wanted to flex my creative muscles a bit and make my own chapter, which is why the Revenants were born, and it's why I sold the salamanders, because I needed the money to pay for all these guys. So yeah, the salamanders, I sold them to a chap on the Deployment Zone Discord, who goes by the name of Captain Smashy Pants. And those salamanders are, to this day, still kicking ass and purging heretics up in somewhere in Scotland, I believe. I actually saw them in action, because I met the chap at the Deployment Zone Open Day year before last. And that was a really cool event, actually. I hope they do another one this year when COVID is gone into the bin where it belongs. But I actually saw them in action on that day because he brought them with him, the chap, and it was cool seeing them doing their thing again. So yeah, sometimes I miss them a little bit, but I did sell them, much like the Tau. I sold the Tau as well. Some people ask me about those occasionally. The Tau are gone; they have been sold. I sometimes regret that decision, but ultimately it allowed me to buy some other fun stuff instead. And I didn't really enjoy playing the Tau, honestly. I hope they get a bit of a rework in 9th edition, because they were not very fun in 8th edition for me. I didn't like the way they played with their Markerlight system and stuff. They were just a finicky, frustrating army for me. I didn't enjoy playing them, so I decided they had to go. So that I could pay for other cool stuff instead. So yeah, the Tau and the Salamanders, I'm afraid, they are gone. They are gone. I still have my ancient fucking Space Wolves around somewhere. But they would need a serious, refurbishing / rebasing before they ever came on the channel in a bat rep form. But I do have those somewhere. I tell you what, let me go dig out a couple of models that are actually, camera worthy. Alright, bonus round, I suppose. These are my Space Wolves. Some of the ones that are actually, can go on camera. These three at the back here, these 2 Terminators and the Scout, I didn't paint those. The core of the Space Wolf army was one that I bought off a friend, who is much better at painting than me, let me tell you. However, the bulk of it has these very weird green bases that I don't much care for. Some of them, as you can see, I've rebased a while ago, like this, and I think it's much improved. However, the majority of them still have the weird green bases, so they would need to be redone. That's a Wolfen that I painted, which is why it doesn't look so good, and I painted it quite a while ago too, so it extra doesn't look so good. But his colour scheme's slightly different, because he's from the Lost 13th Company, so that's back in the days when the Space Wolves wore grey and red in the Horus Heresy, so... Thing is, though, about a quarter of the Space Wolf army also is in grey, because I decided to experiment a bit, and that was before the days when I felt like I needed the army to look a bit more uniform than that. So again, all the grey ones need to be kind of repainted in the Space Wolf baby blue, because I do like the Space Wolf baby blue. A lot of people prefer the old grey, but it's a bit too close to these guys for me, personally. So yeah, I need to repaint them blue. And God, I can't stop looking at these guys now. I've got them out again. I forgot how pretty they are. Man, there's a Scout Sergeant there with his frost sword. I used to love Space Wars back in the day. I still kind of do, really. I read the original Ragnar Blackmane novels by William King, which were a decidedly fun read back in the day. They were a lot of fun. They got me absolutely hooked on Space Wolves from the planet Fenris, which is basically... Fenris is hilarious, really, because it is pretty much just Skyrim in space in the 40k universe. They have trolls and sea dragons and all sorts of nonsense going on Fenris. It's kind of wonderful. It's a little sort of Nordic fantasy world in the middle of 40k, and it's so kind of daft and wonderful and great. This is my Jarl, my Wolf Lord, that I painted ages ago. I gave him a name. It's been so freaking long, I've forgotten what it is. But I painted this guy. And, yeah, he's pretty cool. He's actually converted, I think, from the Crom Dragon Gaze model. Very cool. So he's got the big axe, but he's also got, as you can see, a storm shield and a massive beard, as is the way of the Space Wolves. Olaf One Eye, that was it. Now I remember, because I'm looking closely at him and I'm realising, yeah, he's only got one eye that you can see out of. The other one's painted milky white and has a scar over it. Olaf One Eye, yes. He is my headcanon leader of the Iron Wolves, because this... I don't know if any of them have actually got the Great Company logo on them. I don't think they have. Oh no, he has, I think. Yeah, that's the Iron Wolves logo. I can't remember which numbered Great Company of the Space Wolves it is, but they are the Iron Wolves. They are the Space Wolf Great Company that traditionally focused a lot on vehicles and big machinery and stuff like that. Because they were led by Eagle Iron Wolf, who was like a really cool wolf lord who was like part tech marine as well. He was really badass and awesome, and he freaking died in the fall of Cadia, which kind of ruined the damn lore for my for my great company. I don't know who is canonically leading the Iron Wolves these days, but in my headcanon, it's Olaf. So there you go. Man, why did they have to kill Eagle? He was freaking awesome. I think he got killed by Magnus, if I recall. But yeah, of all the Wolf Lords they could have killed, why Eagle? He was great. But anyway, that is a really old school Wolf Priest. Bjorn the Small, I think I nicknamed him, because he's quite small, especially compared to Olaf. Look at him, he's tiny. He's very small. A bit of scale creep gone on over the years, clearly, but like, you're not even a Primaris Marine, you're just a, quote-unquote mini-Marine. This guy's a mini Marine. Wolf Priests are great. I really like Wolf Priests. They're like chaplains, except, they're Viking chaplains that also double as apothecaries. They can heal other Marines nearby and stuff as well. Yeah, Wolf Priests are badass. I think I have... I think this is actually the old model for Ulrich the Slayer. I have the new Ulrich the Slayer around somewhere. But I think this was the old Ulrich model, if I recall. But yeah, there you go. Space Wolves. Yeah. Problem is, at the moment, I already have way too many Imperium armies, so the chances of me actually rebasing this lot up and repainting the grey ones and getting them on the table for a battle report is unfortunately a little bit on the slim side, I'm afraid. So, yeah, never say never and all, but don't have any immediate plans for this lot, really. But I still like them. They still have a special place in my heart. The Sons of Russ. Even the really weird mutated Sons of Russ. Even you guys. Freaking weird models. I did prefer the old Wolfen models, but never mind. Yeah, there you go. Space Wolves. That was the bonus round. This is probably a very long hobby vlog now. I doubt anyone will really complain, but... well, my computer will complain when trying to encode the whole bloody thing, but aside from that, I think we'll be alright. Anyway, there you go. Bonus round. Space Wolves, who I do kind of miss now that I've got them on the table. Sigh. Alright, anyway. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed this hobby update. More to come. Obviously, the Black Legion stuff hasn't arrived, which is why I've not shown it to you in this video yet, but it will. I'll probably kick off the next hobby vlog update with the Black Legion unboxing, so I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, cheers, my dears. If you've got any other hobby questions you want to ask me, go ahead. I'll try my best to answer them in the next one. And yeah, have a good one, everybody. Stay safe. See you next time.